A moment that began as calm turned into the most shocking turn Heartland fans have seen in years. No one thought Amy would be standing face to face with Nathan when he asked the question that froze the entire ranch. A question that could rewrite everything Heartland stands on. The wind wasn't the only thing silent. Everyone was. Heartbeats paused. Futures trembled. This wasn't just an ending. It was a turning point. Episode 19 times 10 opens with something almost peaceful. Horses grazing, mountains quiet, Heartland waking up like any other day. But underneath that calm rhythm, something restless breathes, like the ranch knows change is walking closer with every step Nathan takes. He arrived quietly, shoulders heavy like a man carrying more than words. His eyes held something deeper than usual, a mixture of fear, longing, and determination. Amy sees him from across the yard and stops mid-step. She's not just surprised, she's unsure. Nathan isn't someone she expected to face deeply today, not after everything that's happened, not after walls she built to protect her heart. Yet there he stands, waiting, not turning away. The family notices too. Jack watches with cautious eyes. Protective, quiet, reading the unspoken tension like weather on a horizon. Lou steps closer, sensing something monumental in the air. Tim stiffens, suspicious of Nathan's timing and intentions. The ranch freezes like time itself is listening. Nathan finally speaks, voice steady but trembling at the edges. He says he can't hide what he feels anymore. He says he's seen Amy heal, seen her grow, seen her stand back up after heartbreak and loss. He says he wants to be part of her future, not as another chapter, but as a partner, a promise. Amy doesn't move. She feels the ground shift beneath her. This is not a confession she prepared for. This is not a moment she saw coming. Nathan steps closer, slowly, and there's nothing rushed or careless about him. He's not here to play with words. He's here to change his life. And hers. He tells her he's loved her quietly, patiently, respectfully. He tells her he doesn't want to replace what she lost, but he wants to stand beside the woman she became because of it. His voice cracks when he says he wants to give her peace, not pain. And then, without a dramatic buildup or rehearsed speech, Nathan asks the question that splits the episode open like lightning through a storm. Amy, will you marry me? Everything stops. Jack's breath catches. Lou covers her mouth. Tim steps forward like he needs to pull Amy back from something. Even the horses go still, as if Heartland itself is listening for her answer. But Amy, stunned, overwhelmed, frozen in a moment heavy with history, says nothing. Not yes, not no, just silence. Silence that weighs more than any answer could. Because Amy is standing between what was and what could be. The episode doesn't rush her, it lets her breathe, it lets her heart remember, it lets her consider whether love after loss is betrayal or rebirth. Nathan waits, not demanding, not pushing, but with hope stretched thin like a glass ready to crack or shine. Fans watching know this is bigger than romance. This is a choice of identity, a choice of future, a test of healing. Does Amy accept a new love or protect what once was forever? Episode 19 times 10 leaves us suspended in that moment, a ranch full of eyes watching one woman face a future she never imagined, because the hardest decisions are the ones that could either save us or break us again. The air around Heartland is thick, like the entire ranch is holding its breath, waiting for Amy to speak. Nathan is still on one knee, eyes lifted to her like a man offering not just a ring, but his future. The silence between them stretches long enough to feel like forever. And in that silence, Amy hears everything. Memories, promises, losses she survived, and the uncertain hope rising inside her. She doesn't give an answer. Not yet. Instead, Amy steps back, one slow breath at a time. Her voice is soft, unsteady, but honest as she tells Nathan she needs space. Not out of rejection, but out of fear of what saying yes or no could mean. A marriage after pain isn't a simple choice. A second chance at love is not a small leap. It's stepping into the unknown. Nathan stands, ring still in his hand, and nods. There is no anger, no frustration, only a look that says he understands. He tells her he will wait. 1 day, 1 month, longer if he must, because love without patience is not love at all. Then he walks away, not defeated, but hopeful, though even hope trembles in the wind that follows him. Inside the house, the conversation explodes quietly. Lou speaks first, gently, reminding Amy that she deserves happiness, that love after loss does not erase the past. It honors survival. It honors growth. Georgie agrees, saying Amy has given so much to everyone else. Maybe it's time she gives something to herself. But Tim's voice cuts through the room like sharp wire. He warns Amy that proposals born in emotional storms can mislead even the strongest hearts. He wants her protected, untouched by regret, unwilling to see her hurt again. His worry hides beneath toughness, but it shakes him. Tim knows what broken promises look like, and he refuses to watch Amy fall. Jack stands silent the longest, leaning on the counter, eyes deep with years of wisdom. Finally, he says something that sinks into every corner of Amy's soul. Don't answer with loneliness, don't refuse with fear. Amy goes quiet. That line hits her like truth, painful but necessary. She knows she must choose with clarity, not pressure. With love that feels right, not love that arrives suddenly. Later that evening, Amy steps outside alone. The sky has turned deep gold, the kind of sunset that feels like a message. She walks to the pasture, where the horses move calm and slow, unaware of the storm stirring in her heart. She rests her hand on the fence and closes her eyes, remembering old love like a photograph, warm but unchanged by time. Then she remembers Nathan. Present, willing, alive. 2 different futures. 1 fragile choice. Footsteps sound behind her, soft, hesitant. Nathan has returned, not to push her, but because he needed to speak one more truth. He stands beside her, watching the sky with her instead of demanding answers. He tells her he doesn't want to replace the past she carries. He simply wants to build a new chapter with her, shaped by strength instead of loss. He says he will love her gently if she lets him, and that choosing him doesn't mean forgetting what came before. It means living again. Amy listens, eyes steady, heart shaking. She tells him she needs time to think, to breathe, to be certain. Nathan doesn't try to change her mind. He simply asks one thing. When you decide, let it be with hope, not fear. Then he leaves her under the fading sunset, alone with her heart's uncertain rhythm. And that's when Amy realizes the truth the episode has been building toward. Love doesn't always arrive when we're ready. Sometimes it comes to test whether we can open the door again or keep it locked forever. Episode 19 times 10 is not about the proposal itself. It's about the weight of choice. And the answer Amy gives next could shape Heartland in ways fans will never see coming. News travels faster than wind in Hudson, especially when it involves Amy Fleming and a marriage proposal. By the next morning, whispers move through the town like wildfire. Some say Amy accepted. Others swear she said no. No one knows the truth, but everyone feels the ripple of what happened. Heartland becomes the center of eyes, questions, and unspoken pressure. Amy steps outside to feed the horses, but even the quiet doesn't feel quiet anymore. People arrive with curious smiles, subtle questions, even congratulations she hasn't earned yet. A proposal isn't just between 2 hearts. It becomes a storm of opinions, expectations, and fears. Lou wants to protect Amy from the noise. Georgie tries to shield her from assumptions. But the world does what it always does. It pushes forward even when hearts aren't ready. And while Amy stands in the middle of a choice she hasn't made, Nathan faces his own battle. Because waiting is its own kind of pain. He comes to Heartland one afternoon not to ask again, but to show he meant what he said. He helps with horses, repairs fences, stands beside Jack in respectful silence. Jack watches him closely, weighing actions more than promises. Nathan doesn't speak much. He lets his effort speak instead. Every nail he hammers says something. Every stall he cleans says something louder. He isn't here for a moment, he wants to stay. Tim, however, isn't convinced. He meets Nathan in the barn, voice low and fierce. He asks whether love after loss can ever be fair, whether Nathan can carry the weight of a heart already broken once before. Nathan doesn't raise his voice. He simply answers, "I'm not trying to erase her story, I want to join it." Tim has no reply. And that silence means more than anger ever could, but the pressure keeps building. A reporter shows up, one of those eager types who chase emotional headlines. They want to know if Amy Fleming, the woman who once learned to love again, is ready for marriage. Cameras flash, questions cut sharp, and Amy feels the world pushing her toward a decision she still hasn't made. She steps back, emotionally overwhelmed, words stuck in her throat. It's Jack who ends the chaos with a calm, steady voice. He tells the reporter to leave. He stands like a mountain between Amy and the world that won't give her space to breathe. When they're gone, Amy finally exhales, the kind of breath that trembles with relief. Night falls heavy that day. Amy sits alone in the arena, the place where she first learned trust, healing, belief. Hoofprints mark the dirt like memories, every step a reminder of journeys she survived. She holds the ring Nathan offered, turning it slowly in her hands. It shines softly, not loud or demanding, just waiting like he is. She remembers laughter. She remembers loss. She remembers rebuilding herself when she thought she couldn't. Love after pain isn't betrayal, but it is terrifying. That's when Georgie sits beside her quietly, no questions, no pressure. After a long silence, she tells Amy something simple but powerful. Maybe it's not about choosing who you love, but choosing what kind of life you want next. Amy doesn't answer. She can't. Not yet. Later, she walks out under a sky full of stars, the same sky she once stared at through grief, wondering if she could move forward. Tonight, those stars feel like witnesses to another beginning she's afraid to start. The night air carries something unsettled, like the universe is waiting for her decision too. And then, footsteps approach. Nathan stands beside her again, just as silent, just as patient. He doesn't talk about marriage. He doesn't push for answers. He only says, "If you don't love me, I will let you go. But if there's even a chance, I'll stay as long as it takes." His voice breaks, not from weakness, but sincerity. Amy's heart stirs, heavy and hopeful at the same time. This is not a question of loving the past more or less. This is a question of whether she can open a new door without losing herself. Episode 19 times 10 builds toward a moment that feels like a cliff edge. One step could lead to happiness, one pause could return her to silence. And as the tension tightens, the ranch feels like a beating heart waiting for one answer. The final choice is close now, closer than breath. One word from Amy could change the future forever. Morning breaks softly over Heartland, calm on the outside but trembling beneath the surface. Today is the day. Even if Amy hasn't said it aloud, she feels it. No more waiting, no more hiding behind fear or memory. A decision lives inside her chest like a heartbeat she can't ignore. She knows love isn't something you fall into anymore. It's something you choose. And now she must choose. Nathan arrives quietly, the way he always does when he respects her space. He doesn't expect an answer, not after days of silence. But today feels different to him, too. He stands near the barn, almost afraid to hope, almost afraid not to. The uncertainty in his eyes is raw, honest, human. Jack watches from the porch, hat brim low, expression unreadable but full of care. Lou stands near the rail, holding her breath. Even Tim, who fought hardest against this, stands still. Not ready, but present. The whole ranch gathers without being called, as though something bigger than words is pulling them together. Destiny, maybe. Change, definitely. Amy steps forward slowly, every stride measured, every breath steady. She stops in front of Nathan, close enough to feel his hope, close enough to feel her own fear. For a moment, they just look at each other. No noise, no rush, just two lives hanging between then and now. Amy begins to speak. Not with certainty, but with truth. She tells Nathan she never thought she would face a choice like this again. She thought her heart had already lived its greatest love, lost it, and learned to survive alone. She says healing isn't simple. Forgiving herself for feeling again wasn't simple. But she also says something that makes Nathan's eyes soften with disbelief. Loving again doesn't mean forgetting. It means I survived. Nathan's breath catches, hope filling the space between them like sunlight. But Amy isn't finished. She tells him marriage cannot be a bandage for old pain. It must be a commitment for new life. It must be slow, honest, earned. She cannot say yes today, not because she doesn't care, but because she cares too deeply to rush. And then she places his ring gently in his hand, but she doesn't walk away. Instead, she closes his fingers around it and whispers, "Ask me again someday, when we've built something together, not just hoped for it." It is neither rejection nor acceptance. It is a beginning. Nathan's eyes fill, not with disappointment, but relief, because she didn't say no. She said, "Grow with me." She said, "Stay." And that somehow means more than a rushed yes ever could. He promises he will wait, not as a man desperate, but as a man willing to build a future brick by brick, moment by moment. The ring doesn't vanish. It becomes a promise waiting for its time. Jack steps forward then, slow and proud in a quiet, fatherly way. He rests a hand on Amy's shoulder and nods, not approval of a decision, but respect for her strength. Lou smiles through tears. Even Tim, fierce and protective to his core, lets out a breath he's been holding for days. He may never fully trust the future, but he trusts Amy. Nathan walks with Amy across the pasture, not as fiancés, not as strangers, but as two hearts choosing to try. A relationship without rush, without fear, built the way Heartland heals everything, step by gentle step. The final shot lingers on them walking side by side, slow, steady, unforced. A relationship beginning, not concluding. No flash, no perfect ending. Just the truth of life after loss. Love can come again, but it must be nurtured, not demanded. Episode 19 times 10 ends not with a wedding, but with the promise of one someday. A future still unwritten, a story still growing, a heart opening again. Carefully, beautifully. And fans are left with one burning question. Will Amy one day say yes? Or will fate turn love into another heartbreak waiting in the wings? The episode fades, leaving hearts racing and minds wondering, not answered, but awakened.